It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
I will mess up a name, and not just Minnesota town names. I will mess up people's names that people I know personally. It's case in point.
That's fair.
But it's a good thing my name's Steve, because at least it's easy. I don't have to think twice. I appreciate Paul Ryder. I can appreciate
the truck.
See, exactly. And by the way, if you call me, you know what pops up on my phone? A picture of a Ryder truck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
I'm not making that up.
Back that truck up.
That's it, man. But there's problematic names. Wieland Weiland, but that's his last name. It's a surname. But first names can be difficult. There is one woman who is explaining her situation to the world. She says she has the most problematic name ever. Did you want to play a little something here, Ryder, for me?
Let's take a listen to her talking about her name.
My name is the most problematic name, I think, in this world. Like, to the point where my driving license came back with a picture of a Chinese man on it. Yeah, with my name, his signature, and my address. That type of problem. Because the systems just can't understand.
She's been dealing with this for a long friggin' time.
Apparently
I
so.
can sense the angst.
She's so frustrated she got an English accent at the end of the day out of this. God, that's just
she's
awful.
actually from Rhode Island. That's crazy.
The weirdest thing.
No, she's not.
Now her name is not. It's not either Lamangela or Orangela. My favorite ever, name. The story of the twins, the orange Jello, lemon Jello, but they were pronounced Lamangela and Orangela. True. That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what this name could be. 651-989-ROCK. Problematic first names. I'm trying to think in my personal history, have I known somebody that literally had one of those names? I'll have to get back to you on that one. But I'm curious.
Maybe it's like a Seymour Butts or something like that, where people just don't believe her.
Well, I had a roommate in college named William Hunt, and he had a little brother named Michael. Mike Hunt. True, absolutely true.
His parents did that?
Mike, and it was not Michael, it was Mike. That's what he went by. Mike Hunt. I have to stop and pause and say Mike Hunt.
That's the first thing I thought of when you hit the nail on the head, Ryder, with the parents. Like, you need to take this seriously when you name your children. You know what I mean? You can't just, they had a plan for her name.
You would think.
You have to think how difficult you're going to make your kid's life. It's
like the couple in Sweden 10 years ago or so tried to name their baby Metallica, and the Swedish government would not allow them to, because sometimes government oversight's a good thing. You want your kid to hate you and hate the music of Metallica?
Yeah.
Name her Metallica.
100%.
That's guaranteed. A woman has been discussing the fact that she has the most problematic name imaginable. And yes, to your point, Paul, parents, guys, you want to have a unique child. You want them to see themselves as a special person. You can go a little off the norm with a name. I mean, we have two kids. My son's name is Connell. It's an Irish name, and I've known a couple of Connells. It's just a name I always apprecied.
What's weird is your daughter's name is Bookshelf. That's what I thought was a strange decision.
But it's worked out perfectly for her. She's very studious. Marley, another name that we just like those names. And it's funny because I look at both kids and I think those names really they fit. They fit. And I've known people where I know them for a while and I'm always like, that name does not match that person at all. And I know people who've said, oh, my name's my name never fit, never worked for me. I've always felt like I'm a Steve. It's just kind of what it is.
It works for me too. Yeah, you are a Steve.
Yeah, I've been told that many times in my life. But this woman in question here, she is not apparently the name that she was given. This is a rough one. Let's go ahead and listen a little bit more to what her problem is.
My name is the most problematic name, I think, in this world. Like, to the point where my driving license came back with a picture of a Chinese man on it. Yeah, with my name, his signature, and my address. That type of problem. Because the systems just can't understand.
This is decades of angst.
It really is.
Yeah.
The name is, let's have it.
My name is L.A., capital L dot, capital A dot. Now, some of the systems don't accept it, so they have to just put L.A., or some of them accept one dot but not two. Some of them don't accept two letters. They have to add an extra letter. All kinds of madness.
L.A., as in the acronym for Los Angeles.
But it must not stand for anything. It must not stand for anything.
No, she said her mom was trying to combine, referencing two different surnames of the family. But L.A. And by the way, not spelled E-L-L-A-Y, not like an actual name, but just simply L.A.
But when she does, she fills out forms and stuff online, they don't accept the full stops.
Yeah.
And so it's been, you know what? She could, I'm not saying this is on her, but if this is if this causes so much angst in her life, she can change her name.
She certainly can.
Yeah.
Why should she have to change her name? The systems are the one that sucks.
I said that. I said it's not ideal and it's not her fault, but if it's such a problem, I mean... something went down with Paul, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd change it to something else, bookshelf.
It's not. I have a nephew named Matthew, and he was a little kid, Matt, and he said he was probably 4, and he looked at my brother. We're sitting around. It was Christmas, and he goes, "Hey, so did you why'd you call me Matt?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Why is my name Matt?" And he goes, "Well, we like the name Matthew." And he said, "I mean, could it have been anything?" And my brother said, "Yeah." He goes, "I mean, could it have been closet door?" He still thought he was thinking floor mat. He thought that's where they took his name from. And his brother said, "Yes, it could have been closet door. Would you prefer that?" He goes, "No, I was just wondering."
92 KQRS.
So Ryder, with her fear of being buried alive, will be cremated, and that's a personal choice that I respect. I'm all for it. We've discussed the very same thing. My wife and I, when we got married, we came up with our whole plan. If one of us were to pre-check out on the other.
One of you probably is going to check out on the other.
Well, you never know. So we do fly together sometimes. We don't do the VP president thing. We get on the same plane. You never know. No, but, we were like, hey, if this happens, then do this and take me here and put me there. We got a whole thing in plan.
Right.
A lot of people do that. But seems to me that one of the most important things, one of the most important pieces of the plan with what to do with one's cremains is to make sure that you keep them away from your children.
Out of sight and out of reach.
Yeah. Generally, it seems like once a quarter, we get a story like this. Every few months, somebody goes public with the fact that, that's not Play-Doh, those are ashes. A TikTok video, a woman named Natasha Emini, discovered during a little bit of they were doing a little work in the house, and her father's ashes in an urn had always been placed out of reach, but they had some new flooring put down. She had moved it to a lower shelf for whatever reason, and walks into a room, and there is her toddler son, and it sounds like this.
Oh my God, when your son eats your dad as ashes, my son has eaten my dad's ashes.
I came upstairs to bring some washing. Went back down a few minutes later and he had it all over his mouth. I was in complete shock.
They probably look like paper mache people.
Probably so. You just gotta roll with it, though. I mean, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, and there's no getting those ashes back in the urn.
No, and this kid is just blotchy all over his face and his shirt and his clothes. It's like he went to town on chocolate cake or something. Man, not tasty.
I've these stories pop up every now and again, but I have heard. I like I mean, this is kind of funny, but I'm always up for interesting stories about what people do with other people's ashes. I mean, there's a lot of very heartwarming, and then sometimes just really funny things people have done.
Oh, yeah. We just got a text the other day from somebody who said that I believe their father's ashes were in a Pillsbury Doughboy cookie jar. And then sent us a picture of the cookie jar.
That's right.
You're asking for it then, in that case.
Well, sure. 651-989-ROCK. If you've got a cremains story that either something you've done yourself or what you plan to be done with yours. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to top the great Hunter S. Thompson. No. His friends put in the money, and they just blasted him from a cannon, I should say, up into the stratosphere. Nice. That's about as good as it gets.
I don't think I'll have the budget for that.
Yeah, no. Put me in a Roman candle and just shoot the kid across the street who you don't like. Something like that. Maybe a bottle rocket. I'd be all for it. 651-989-ROCK. After yet another kid discovered Grandpa's ashes and thought they were snacks. These things happen. We've got somebody on the horn right now who has a story for us. I believe this is Sally. Good morning, Sally.
This is actually Shelly.
Shelly.
That's my bad. Shelly, sorry about that.
Good to have you, Shelly.
Yes.
Good morning.
What do you got for us?
Well, my brother was an avid Harley Davidson fan, and he loved nothing more than being out on his Harley. So when he passed away tragically, in 2018, he had his ashes put in the gas tank of a Harley Davidson that we specially made just for him. His name was Brad Peach.
Oh, right. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but hey, man, he's where he wanted to be, if nothing else.
Exactly, and he's always in our hearts and in our minds.
Of course.
Love and miss him to death, but
so you had this.
Yep.
You had this bike custom made.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is it a full bike or is it a tank?
It's just a tank.
Okay.
And it's a Harley Davidson tank with the Harley Davidson on the side, logo, whatever. And then it's his birth date and his date of his death.
Right.
Such a cool tribute.
He was known to many as Butch, Butchie, or Buddha.
All right.
There we go.
Butch, Butchie, or Buddha. I like all three. And that beats the hell out of just the old standard urn off the shelf. That's really nice. Shelley, thanks for the call.
Doesn't it? Thank you so much.
You got it.
Have a great day.
Martha texted in 651-989-ROCK. I have a memorial tattoo with my sister's ashes in it, and then she sent a picture, and it's beautiful. And that's a great. I've heard of that before. You can get the ashes added into the ink and have it tattooed in. That's pretty outstanding.
That's awesome, actually.
Keith Richards, of course, very famously, when his father passed and was cremated, he told a journalist that I added my dad's ashes into a little bit of blow and snorted him. And the journalist then took that seriously. And Keith, like a week later, goes, of course I didn't do that. I just said that just to say something. But, of course, because it's Keith Richards, you have to go, wait, did?
I mean, that's
okay.
maybe how he's lasted so long.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the secret.
He's for a very long time. Any story you hear, what do they call it? The Tyson zone. There was a moment in Mike Tyson's life where any story anyone ever told you had to go, yeah, I think that might be actually true.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Keith has been there since 72.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since Exile on Main Street came out, there's really nothing you can say about Keith Richards where someone won't go, yeah, probably.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could very well be there.
Yeah, checks out.
Wally texted in, I was going to get a job with a crematory repair company in town. I did the infield shadow interview day repairing a furnace with the owner. At the end of the day, my pants were all dusty, and I said to the guy, so what, I have like 100 dead people on me now, right? And he said, no, more like 1,000.
Oh.
Yow!
See, that just... Yeah,
Wally, did you just wash the jeans? Like, what do you do there?
I think you just wash them. I think you just forget it. I think go jump in the river. You know what I mean? Just take a quick dip. I like this one from John. I put some of my dad's ashes into the head of one of his old drivers and then shortened the shaft and replaced the grip to make a shorty for the mantle. Nice. Personally, I want to be shellacked and set out in the front yard. It's a little different.
I mean, I would, if you're going to go through all that trouble, make it a golf club you can use.
I was expecting him to say that, but
go pound around 18 at a time. You know, let Dad help you get down the fairway straight. Hopefully.
Lemmy from Motorhead, famously, someone texted this in. His ashes were put into bullets and then sent to friends.
And they're like his blood is everywhere too. Like I think James Hetfield has a tattoo that he says is part Lemmy's blood. That dude's everywhere.
Lemmy is everywhere. Lemmy is everything. Yeah. There's a little bit of Lemmy wherever you go. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, there's a little bit of Lemmy anywhere you find yourself. Here's one on the text line. My wife has been instructed to put my ashes into 2 24-ounce Hamm's beer cans, put them in an old boat, and shoot with a flaming arrow to send me to Valhalla. All right.
Yes, that is like so close to the Viking funeral.
It's pretty.
The Minnesota version.
Yeah, they had more like it was like a grog of mead, but that can be a can of Hamm's beer now. That's fine.
I mean, you got to update everything, right?
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Not too many people are, drinking grogs of mead, I don't think, anymore, so...
Well, I mean, not maybe with people you hang out with. I mean, come on, man.
That's fair. I'm sure there's probably a pocket somewhere. I'm just saying, probably not a lot.
There was another case. So we played the kids who got into it a few months ago. We had a similar story, and I mean, I just feel bad. I feel bad ultimately, mostly for Pawpaw.
The boys got Pawpaw. They got him and they dumped him out all over my carpet, and I didn't realize it was Pawpaw. And I vacuumed him up. They may have eaten some of him, too. Because Rami had the cap in his mouth.
Oh, Rami. How do you not notice it's Pawpaw? You had to have seen the urn was spilled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it just random ashes? Like, I don't buy it.
Hey, man, you know what? You got toddlers in the house.
Sounds like a TikTok story to me.
Things are going to go sideways quickly.
Making things up.
In the best of circumstances, it's a nightmare. I'll just say, parenthood's a nightmare. Is there resentment coming through? No, I'm kidding, of course. Gina texted down. I used to have horses and always said to spread my ashes in the pasture. Now I have to use a friend's pasture. Yeah, the ashes in the pasture. The ashes wherever. I mean, I watched someone doing it, and someone I did not know walked out into a lake waist deep, and they had the ashes, and they were getting ready to do something. And it's fine. The ashes all ended up in the lake regardless. My wife and I, this was just a few years ago, down south, and we were just sitting in a parking lot by a lake. Our daughter was with some friends in this park. We were going to pick her up, and we just parked right by the water's edge, and we watched a couple walk out, and the guy stopped about knee deep. His wife went further, about waist deep in this little lake, and she clearly opened an urn, and she was saying something, but like some wind came up, and the pour didn't go the way she wanted, and she was really upset. It was kind of tough, we were watching, but we don't say a word. We're sitting there at the window. We can hear their voices. Can't really make out every word.
Yeah.
And at some point, the husband goes, "It's all in the water anyway. Who cares?" Like he was supportive and sad for her sadness for about 30 seconds, and she was still upset about it. And then he finally was like, and I just thought, he didn't like his mother-in-law. You can just tell. You could just tell. I could read that one like a book.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Rank you very much. Paul, go ahead and explain what the hell we're doing here.
All right. Well, it started as a podcast off and on for the last couple of years. I did with former KARE 11 sports superstar Eric Perkins. I know Ryder's a huge fan.
I love Perk and Play. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't love him? And a gal named Ellie Mark, who went on to be Miss Minnesota. We would get together for a podcast, do 3 topics, and we would rank our top 3 in each of those, and then relentlessly and ruthlessly, generally attack each other for our selections. In this format, we'll do 1 topic a week.
All right.
But then we rank our top 3, and then again, have at it.
All right.
It's where we take something that's relatively meaningless and make it super important.
My rank you very much name will be Ranking Roger. Tribute to my man from the English Beat. God rest his soul. Ranking Roger, one of the all-time greats.
I'm going to go with Paul.
Okay, that works.
For now.
That works. That's fine. Today's category, you got one?
We're going to do foods that are better on the grill.
All right.
Foods that are better on the grill. Okay. I'm ready to roll, man. But you know what? Why don't we ask Ryder to go first? We're each offering up 3. That's the rule here.
We start with our number 3s, and then we do our number 2s, and then we'll do our number 1s.
Number 3, Ryder. What's your number 3?
Fresh peaches.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, pretty great.
Right? You ever go to the produce stand at the fair?
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna. There may be some stepping on some toes here. I'm gonna give you off the top of my head. See, I was going strawberries. Strawberries on the grill.
On the grill?
Oh, baby.
Did you just make that up just
now? No. As the smoke, as it compounds, they get sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. Don't kid yourself. Strawberries on the grill, fantastic.
What would you eat that with? Just by itself, or do you eat it with something?
Any number of things, but by themselves are great. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm confused.
Really?
I'm not making this. Yeah, come on. You asked me what's on the grill. My first thought, actually, it wasn't my first thought, but it was my third thought. I know what number 1 is.
Ryder, kind of makes me wonder if the guy's ever grilled before.
Oh, for the love of God. I'm from the South. We don't have ovens.
You don't?
No.
All right, well, that's actually a perfect transition. That's a perfect transition into my number 3, because this food is typically done in an oven, but stuffed peppers done on the grill. You get a little char.
Stuffed with?
Whatever you want. It could be the Italian mix. It could be a taco mix. It could be any kind of meats, chicken, whatever.
What kind of mess does that make? Have you had one fall over on you?
No, I have not had one fall over. I mean, you also you take the steps to make sure it doesn't fall over.
It sounds like you got to involve aluminum foil. I don't know.
This one sounds like a labor.
I don't know, man. That's like bell pepper. You cut it in half. You stuff it with a bunch of crap, and you throw it on the grill.
You just hollow it out.
Fill
Fill the inside, and then,
Oh, I see.
Oh, man, it's just another level of deliciousness, especially if you can get a little smoke going in there. Keep in mind, you're talking about ease. I'm not talking about ease. I take the topic seriously. It's foods that are better on the grill.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Ryder?
Easy is part of better. No, my number 2, is that what we're looking for?
Yeah.
I need them burger buns. You got to toast them burger buns.
Yeah,
if
that makes
you're
sense.
giving me a burger off the grill in just a plain bun that's room temperature, that's not nice and crispy, just throw the thing in the garbage or give it to Chauncey.
Roughly how many?
Care.
Roughly how many food combinations are there on the planet? Millions, endless, infinity.
Millions.
All the things in the world that you could do on a grill that are better, buns.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that burger if the buns aren't toasty.
Yeah, man.
I need my buns just right.
Whereas I'll take any. You give me a burger, I'll wrap it in lettuce, put it on a raw bun, put it on a cooked bun. I'll just take it with anything. But no, a toasted bun, a grilled bun is very nice.
Oh yeah, and it's not like you can put them in the toaster or heat them up in the microwave. It's just not the same. You got to put that stuff on the grill.
I agree with you. I'm a grill. There's been different. Depends on my living situation, but there are times when I am grilling on a very regular basis. It's been a couple years. Don't have the right setup here in Minneapolis really
yet.
But one of the things that I really enjoy because it's so easy, but I'm confident. I'm not good at preparing fish. I don't trust myself with fish. All meat products I got, except for on the grill, the good old fashioned salmon on a cedar plank. Love that because it's grilling for a dumb guy. Soak your cedar plank, throw your salmon on there, close the grill, open it up later, and it's perfect. And the cedar, it's grilling for idiots, and I get that. But there's no better way to eat a piece of salmon than on your grill off a cedar plank. Is that cheating?
I think it's a little bit of cheating.
I came after you on the strawberries.
Okay.
I can't really poke a hole in this theory. I think you're onto something here. Now, for me personally, the salmon would be best under my car tire, and then I hit the gas, floor it, because I don't eat fish. But yeah, I can't really argue that. That's a really solid pick.
I'm just saying it's
it makes me angry.
I owe you a shank of salmon on a cedar plank. What's your number 2, Paul?
My number 2 is corn on the cob. I mean, there's nothing better in Minnesota than corn on the cob. We love our corn on the cob, and I'll take it anyway.
Nope.
Okay.
But on an open flame, unhusked. You can do it in the husk or out of the husk. I like a little of the black char on it. You know what I mean? You get it warm on the top.
Okay.
And you bring it down to the lower level and let the flames hit a little bit. It's juicier, and it just has more of a natural
it's
flavor.
Still in the husk?
No, out of the husk.
Out of the husk.
You can do it in the husk.
Yeah, sure.
But I like it out of the husk. You might even start it in the husk, open it up, and then put it on the open flame. I just like to get some of the char going on it, and it cooks different, and it has more of the, you have more likelihood to spray somebody across the room with a corn kernel.
I'm not going to argue. I love grilled corn on the cob. What do you add? Do you go butter, salt, pepper?
Butter, salt.
I
can't do pepper.
With the labor, though, man. Like, I shucked so much freaking corn growing up. I am not touching those. No.
Really?
Yes. Like, my parents made me hate corn.
Wow. Oh, man.
Here's the thing, though. I'm the dad of the family now.
Right.
So it's my job. My job is to sit out on the deck and peel and shuck the corn. Not shuck the corn, but unhusk it, if you will. So it's
all the silky junk.
I'm teaching the kids. They'll get there. Yeah, but it's part of the deal. Like, you just want everything so easy.
I grew up in a house with canned cream corn a lot, and that still triggers me. If I see cream corn, I'm like, oh god. But no, corn on the cob, pretty undeniable. Hard to argue. We got some number ones we need to get to. Things that are best on the grill. A couple of suggestions. Ryder's dad texted in Brussels sprouts drizzled with olive oil on a skewer.
He is a master griller. He's
really
real good at that stuff.
Fair enough. Well then maybe we need to. We can put a grill outside. Get Jim in here. Whack us up some breakfast food.
I'm pretty sure we have one in a storage room somewhere.
I would imagine so. A different Jim texted in. Cooking the salmon on the board. That's when you throw away the salmon and eat the board. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then Jimmy texted, "Is this grilling for idiots?" And the answer is, well, yeah.
A little bit.
Of course. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. We just know what's good.
Yeah, 100%.
Rank you very much. So we got to get our number ones up here. By the way, we're welcoming all other suggestions. But our number one, what's best on the grill? Ryder, what's your top choice?
What's better on the grill than in the oven or whatever?
Yep.
Anywhere.
Frozen pizza. And I was doing that frozen pizza on the grill trick all last summer.
Seriously?
Yes.
Frozen pizza?
Yes.
Okay,
frozen pizza.
I go grab my Haggies. I take it out of the freezer.
I put it on like a tinfoil thing so it doesn't get all messy on the grill because I like things easy.
Right.
And then you just crank that sucker up to like 450.
Okay.
Dial it back a little bit, put the pizza in there, put the cover down, check in about 10-ish minutes.
Wow, okay.
Crust gets nice and crispy because it's that thin crust, that thin frozen pizza crust. Cheese gets
Fair
all
enough.
nice
All right,
and boily.
I can't knock it because I haven't tried it. So, you can't,
Didn't stop you from knocking my stuffed peppers.
I've had stuffed peppers. I couldn't care. Yeah, no, I don't. Probably, I don't know. How else do you make them? No, I can't knock that because, as we all know, it's the old line about pizza. It's like sex. When it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to argue with any way to prepare pizza.
That's 100% accurate.
My number one, I'm a little salty to say I was going to go straight to peaches. Your number 3 is my number 1.
They're so damn good.
And there's a million different ways to do it, but a little bit of olive oil with some basil and thyme and salt and pepper. I mean, if you really want to get busy, you just about 5 minutes in a bowl and then throw those bad boys on the grill. Grilled peaches, and you can put those with ice cream, with pie, with anything. Grilled peaches are what life is all about. You can argue with it, and I'll just roll my eyes and turn your mic off. Okay, you're number 1, Paul. What do you got?
What a flex. Hey, by the way, we also want your ranks, your top 3, 651-989-ROCK. My number 1 is...
Let's hear it.
Here it comes.
Ryder, you nailed it. It's pizza.
Oh, come on.
It can be homemade pizza,
really?
but the frozen pizza, 1,000%. You know what? I'm a sucker for a $3 Jack's pizza.
Okay.
And then you throw that on the grill. She's 1,000% right on this. It's
really?
It's like
how have I missed this?
I don't know, but it's like you do it on a pizza stone. Oh God, you can't beat it.
Now I got to get a pizza stone.
I mean, there you go.
Don't you
with
have
the
one
labor
already?
Again.
What do you mean? What's the labor?
You got to go buy a pizza stone.
I already have a pizza stone.
I already have aluminum foil.
So do that. That's
Okay.
fine. I'm just saying I have a pizza stone. I throw it on that. And it's just, can we let's not argue when we agree. That's all.
This text just in, duck and goose meat in pieces, the size of a pinky finger, wrap bacon, sprinkle with Greek seasoning, and grill. Now Ryder's not going to do that because that's labor intensive.
Yeah,
However,
it's super labor intensive.
Yeah,
right
I bet that would absolutely work. Jimmy said watermelon. I've had grilled watermelons. Fantastic. Any fruit or vegetable to me is going to work on the grill.
All right, you know what I'm going to do? This is going to be the summer of fruit. I'm going to try all the fruit on the grill, and we'll see what happens.
No, you can't go wrong. Brian says tater tots on the smoker. Sure.
Really?
If you say so, any tots. But Dan wins. His text simply the beer that's next to the grill.
It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
What's the grossest thing you ever did for your job? What would you ever do? Or the hardest thing you ever did? Were you ever asked to do something? Was success predicated upon you doing something that you look back on later and go, that was probably...
I think I lost an NFL picks bet and had to dunk my whole entire head into lube. It was not a pleasant day.
Wow. Into lube?
Yeah.
Wow. Specify.
For hot, sexy time.
Oh. Whew. Man.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's fantastic. I'm trying to think off the top of my... other than just donate my central nervous system to science, I don't think I had to do anything too crazy for success.
I did the dumb, this wasn't work-related, but fantasy football bet back in the day, when I cared about that crap, had basically a reverse mohawk.
Oh, sure.
Middle of the hair had to be shaved, and I had to wear it like that for a week.
Anybody who knows Fletcher when he did this, please send us pictures. 651-989-ROCK.
I did that.
I had hair.
I gave myself a reverse mohawk. That was just drunk in Germany. Because who hasn't been drunk in Germany and seen clippers and had a bad idea? That wasn't a lost bet. It wasn't. It was again. See my previous comment about trying to donate my central nervous system to science. It was it was all I could think to do, and it helped. Oddly enough, to let you know the state of mind I was in, it actually made things better. But sometimes on movie sets or TV sets, actors are asked to do things, for the part they're playing. And sometimes they're just like, yeah, no problem. These are not CGI situations. These are just actual, you got to do this. But the first one, I now have a reason to see a movie called The Paperboy.
Okay.
Nicole Kidman, who By the way, what's going on? What's her home life all about? Because, my God, that woman works nonstop. Every 6 weeks, I see a new series or a new movie with Nicole Kidman. I kid. She's apparently very happily married, but she's a very busy woman.
Tough to tell it's still her, though.
The Paperboy, easy.
What? I was just saying.
Come on. The Paperboy. This is how you want to know if it's really her or not. Is she squatting over Zac Efron and peeing on him? Well, then that's Nicole Kidman. There's a scene in a movie called The Paperboy where he gets his character. His character is stung by a jellyfish.
Wait.
Her character says, if it stings, then human urine takes away the sting.
Right.
So she squats down and pees on him. Now, Zac Efron did not apparently submit to an actual jellyfish sting, but Nicole Kidman did, however, squat over him and pee on him. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Went right for it.
I think it's probably safer that way.
Bang.
You don't want to... Zac Efron's got a very pretty face. You don't want to mess with that.
I'm sorry, what?
He's got a very pretty face. He's a pretty boy. You don't want to mess with that.
Was he stung in the face?
No, but you don't want to risk that body.
What are we talking about? I'm completely confused by whatever's happening right now. I don't even know who Zac Efron is. It's just a name I hear.
Oh, he's fantastic, man.
He was
great.
one of those High School Musical people that actually made it.
Okay,
and he's a pretty boy by definition.
Yeah. Okay, so what's this off ramp you're on? You're suggesting?
I'm just saying you don't want to damage that
with
a
jellyfish sting.
Yeah,
or with human pee. Which one are you concerned about?
No, I think the pee is something that you can handle. It's he's still committed. Like that's showing Zach's commitment, but I don't think we need to risk the whatever the vehicle that he is in.
Wow.
By stealing it with stinging it with a jellyfish. That's just not necessary.
I am impressed she did this in front of an entire film crew.
Sure. Just went right for it.
Even if it was reduced or something this is a lot.
I have fright standing at a urinal.
We're ready to shoot this scene. Where's Nicole? She's in her trailer drinking water. I don't know what's going on in there. Halle Berry, for the movie Jungle Fever, didn't shower or bathe for 2 weeks just to get into character.
Damn.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty stank. But you know what? That's what it takes. If you want to make Halle Berry believable as a crack addict, you're going to have to go to the wall. You're going to have to go pretty extreme to make her look rough and it takes a lot to make her look rough is what I'm saying.
It does. Do you secretly think she's just not wanted to shower for a couple of weeks and then took the role as finally I have an excuse?
Yeah, I would imagine that's part of it. She just wants to get into that. It's like, I'm so sick.
I'm tired of having to look pretty all the time.
Do you know the pressure? Not even having, just can't even help it.
Yeah.
She just wakes up in the morning and it's like, oh, come on, are you kidding me? Stop. Christian Bale very famously does whatever it takes to get into a part. He'll gain weight, he'll lose weight. In the movie Rescue Dawn, he ate real maggots. Just wolfing down maggots.
Were they were raw? Did he get to fry them?
Didn't say.
Did he get to put any paprika or any kind of garlic on them?
I don't believe that he got a chance to saute them in anything yummy. No.
Paprika and some lemon zest, maybe.
Just working it over. Nicolas Cage, very famously in Vampire's Kiss, that's a live cockroach that he wolfs down.
God, there are some more on this list that honestly make my stomach turn, and I might vomit.
People eat cockroaches all the time, right?
They do.
They put them in suckers, don't they?
Yeah.
A source of protein in parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. And they grow quickly. I mean, you're nailing it.
But you know what? These people, this is what it takes sometimes. You got to make the commitment. We can say these are just pampered movie stars, but hey, man, they're willing to go to the wall. Mm-hmm. Weirdest thing you ever had to do for your job? I'm curious. 651-989-ROCK. We've already mentioned the fact that Nicole Kidman had no problem just peeing on Zac Efron.
Sure.
Highlight of his year, I'm going to assume.
Wow.
The actor Ben Foster is in a film called The Program where he played Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
And he said to get himself into the mood, he took PEDs. He took a lot of performance-enhancing drugs.
Holy moly.
And he said, I wouldn't really recommend it. It took a while for me to physically and mentally recover from taking all the drugs. No word yet on whether at the same time he was doing that, he decided to destroy the lives of some other actors who accused him of taking PEDs. That's how I know you're really getting into the part.
Yeah.
When you decide, I'm just going to go ahead and destroy other people's careers who are accusing me of doing things that I'm actually doing. Mm-hmm. I will forever see Lance Armstrong as nothing short of a scumbag.
Right.
He is dreck. And I was somewhere at a restaurant once, true story, in 2006, and he walked into a restaurant in New York City, and one of the people I was sitting with said, that guy's got some ball coming in here. And the whole room fell out laughing, boy. That was good stuff right there.
That one actually took me a second. That is good stuff.
No, it was pretty great. Really, really enjoyed it. A couple of texts came in. So we were talking about things you've done at your job, not necessarily in a Hollywood production, but what have you done to maintain employment? This text just came in. In college, I was a nanny, and the child that I was taking care of had lice. They left me a kit to take care of it. The girl had hair down to her waist. It was so gross. Ow! Jen, I'm so sorry about that. I was
beyond shook.
I mean, if she was a babysitter, I would say that's not fighting fair by the parents. But if she's a nanny and she's there most of the day, it probably falls under your jurisdiction.
I guess it does.
That's
but
mom and dad stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I couldn't imagine like looking at somebody and going like, yeah, hey, dude, it's like saying, hey, check my child for pinworms. No, you check your child for pinworms. What the hell's wrong with you? Dustin Hoffman film, Marathon Man. You guys seen it?
No, I haven't.
Really? Never seen it?
Would you recommend?
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a tough watch. There is a scene where he's acting opposite Laurence Olivier, an actor of some repute.
Yes,
and there's a very famous scene. I'll just say it involves dentistry. That's a very tough watch.
Oh.
Very tough. And in the scene at the time, this is a very famous story. Dustin Hoffman, being Dustin Hoffman, to get into the mood, he stayed awake for 3 straight days before they shot it because he needed to be in the mindset. He was awake for 72 hours because he needs to just be completely at his wit's end and going through a difficult time. The story that's been told for 50 years now since they shot this was they were on set and Olivier asked Dustin Hoffman about this. He said, what's going on? And Dustin Hoffman explained to him, well, being the method actor he is, I stayed awake for 72 hours. And Olivier's response was this, well, why didn't you just try acting? Wow. How great is that? Wow. Oh, well, that's cool, man. You know what you should do next time? Just try acting. And then the audience will assume that you're having a bad day and that you're in really bad shape and that this is painful.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just called acting. It's what we're here to do.
After he did 3 straight days of being awake, why don't you just try acting?
There's getting bitch slapped, and then there's getting bitch slapped by Laurence Olivier.
That's right.
92 KQRS.
Local athlete, current or former. We'll open it up. That you get 1 beer, you get to sit down in a booth at the bar of your choice, you're going to drink a beer, which when I say drink a beer, it really isn't one. It's as many as you need. And then you just hang with that athlete. Who is it? Who are you going with? I'll go to you first, Paul, because you got that wistful look in your eye.
No, I'm searching because there's so many. I mean, I could rattle off 7.
Don't think, blink.
Marcus Foligno.
There you go. Foligno. You can probably still, we can make that happen.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of almost has, but yeah.
So, okay, Ryder.
Dead or alive, Kirby Puckett.
Okay.
Because, man, he could put back some beers, I believe, especially late in his game. But alive, I would have to say Marc-Andre Fleury, so we can talk about all those cups he won with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Wow, okay, fair enough. I'm going straight, recency bias being what it is, I'm going right with Ant-Man.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Anthony Edwards, as long as he brings Ant Jr. See, I would want the dog there, too.
Yeah.
And then he and Chauncey could become buddies. That's my in with Ant. Ant's going to come to know me as like that uncle figure in his life. Steve's cool, man. I like that guy. And it's because Chauncey and Ant Jr. are going to become friends. You got it's like I learned this in preschool. You become your new friends or your children's friends' parents. So that's how I'm going to get in with Ant.
Interesting. I love that you've put this much thought into it.
Yeah, well, it just occurred to me right now in real time, but I'm feeling pretty good about it.
I can't believe you didn't say Nas Reed and his dog. Because I feel like you've got the hookup.
I know, but see, here's the problem, though. I saw Nas Reed at the vet last year with his dog.
Oh, really?
And it's a little French bulldog. And it's kind of cute, but it's just too small. It's not a good match for Chauncey. You know what I mean? It's like I would worry he'd be a little too rough with that little Frenchie. Cute guy.
You are so selfless. Always putting Chauncey before yourself.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do at all times.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
I got a quick question for you.
Okay.
Think you could pass a lie detector test if we hooked you up to a polygraph right now with an experienced polygraph administrator, a guy who gives it to you.
A pro.
Pro
gives it to you.
You think you could pass? And if so, what does that say about you? What do you think, Ryder? Any chance?
I'm trying to think of something that I've lied about where I'd get hooked up to a polygraph.
Well, put it this way: Are you? Well, let's go back to the time in life when we probably did lie to teachers or parents. Teenage years, you're getting caught. Were you? Would you look back and say you were a good liar? Could you get out of a jam?
As a teenager, no, I would have freaking crumbled. Probably now,
okay.
I think I could do it. I'm frequently accused of not having emotions by Mr. Ryder, so
okay.
I think they're too. I have them. I freaking do.
Sure you do.
I think they're too deep for the lie detector to get them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're what Fletch. I don't even feel like I have to ask. You don't strike me as a man with a poker face.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially in my teen years.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would think through the lies.
Oh really?
Oh, I would plot it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's Mom. I would get away with. I mean, never. I was never in serious trouble.
Right.
But anything that I got into shenanigans and whatnot, I could compound lies on top of lies, and I would keep track of what I said, so I would keep the story straight. Could I pass a lie detector test now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I don't see it in you.
No, I mean we have more ability now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we got a great text from Carrie. I don't know if we want to get into these already, but she said the secret is to be like in a state of meditation where you detach yourself from what you're talking about, and I could see that theory working. That gives me some hope that maybe, but no, I don't think I could pass one. I don't even want to mess with it.
Steve, I'm pretty sure that you'd nail this sucker.
You think so?
I feel like I grew up in a house of suspicion. See, my dad trained all of us. We were always under a suspicion of something. And so my brothers and I, we were just constantly being accused of things that we sometimes did, sometimes didn't. And I think we were all pretty good at just acting innocent regardless, you know, like, But then at the same time, I remember always feeling guilty, even though things I didn't do, I would feel guilty for, and then things I did, I could completely tell you I didn't. It was a little backward messaging going on there. Mm-hmm. We were trying to be taught. We were getting the wrong lessons out of this, I guess.
Did you operate out of fear all the time?
Oh yeah,
the lying, everything came out of fear.
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, what do they call that now? Trauma. Yeah, I just thought it was childhood. It's one of those things. Hey, you get a lot of life skills
Legit
from that
PTSD,
sort of experience.
man.
That's exactly what that is. A recent poll, though, asked people if they thought they could pass a polygraph, and 67% said, "Oh yeah, absolutely."
Really?
67% of people polled think that they are enough of a sociopath to pass a polygraph. See, I don't think I could. I think I can. You get someone in there who knows what to look for, and plus it's measuring your central nervous system. You can have a calm exterior. Mm-hmm. You can do all those things. And I know these are not admissible in court because they're not perfect, but they say polygraph givers are like, yeah, we're 80 to 90% sure when we bust people. We know when they're lying.
They're also 5 steps ahead of you. Their questions are designed to get you, to put you into that what do you call it, a pitfall or whatever, to get you to step into the trap, basically, the booby trap. It's all just a booby trap is what it is.
A couple texts from Carrie. You have to be in a state where you're not emotionally attached to any of the questions. You'll pass it every time. Yeah. As you said, be in a state of meditation. Followed it up with, I'm a sociopath, though, so I can lie about anything. Thank you for the honesty.
Wow. Carrie.
But would a sociopath actually admit to being a sociopath?
I don't think they would. So
I think he's actually a psychopath. I don't even know the difference. I just thought that was funny to say. I haven't called anyone a psychopath in a while. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. Do you think you could pass a polygraph? But more importantly, I want to know if you've ever had a polygraph. Anybody that's ever had one, let me know about that. Mike from West St. Paul is on the horn. Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, man. What do you got for us?
Okay, so I was a teenager. Long ago, I lived in Japan. My parents were in the Air Force, so we moved around a lot. Anyway, I'm 15 years old, and I'm hanging out with some shady characters, and those characters like to steal car stereos. So over in Japan, they don't tolerate any of that stuff.
Right.
So they round us up. They individually tell us we're taking polygraph tests, and I got to be down at the police station the next morning, and I'm scared. So I talked to my mom, and my mom tells me that she heard that if you put a penny between your pinky toe and the next toe on each foot, that you would pass a polygraph. So I did that. And every single question they asked me that I was attempted to lie about, they busted me. However, there was two different incidents that they were looking at, that they asked me about, that I was telling the truth about, and it said I was lying. So I don't really have any real faith in those machines. But anyway, that's my story. It was I'm fortunate that I don't run with that crowd anymore. But I'm here to tell you that those machines are not 100% accurate.
Right. I appreciate the call. That's a hell of a story, man. A teenager in Japan, and then you're on top of that. Then your mom's like, stick a penny between those toes, and you'll be fine. Yeah. What do you know?
Maybe Mike should have grabbed a boatload of those dimes and put them between all of his toes.
Here's another text that just came in. My brother failed a polygraph. It almost tore our family apart. 2 months later, the actual criminal confessed to the crime. Ooh, so
wow.
Accused of a crime, they said he failed the polygraph, and then later, and the right goes on to say those machines are a joke. It's all about the person operating it, and it's more. I do wonder like why they still why they still use them when there are so many stories like this. There must be. I think it's just It's like anything in the questioning in those rooms. The cops don't have to follow. They can lie to you. You know, it's like when you're in court. You know who doesn't take an oath to tell the truth? The lawyers.
Correct.
They can say whatever they want. Cops in the interrogation, they have all kinds of things designed to get a desired result. They're leading you. They're funneling you towards a confession, hopefully. And the polygraph, like they say, they ask questions designed to trip you up and. Yeah, it's fascinating.
You just touched on it. What makes a ton of sense is that we all, generally speaking, as a society, understand that those things are for entertainment purposes only, pretty much. Yet they're still used. It's like you just hit it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me why we even use these things anymore. It seems asinine.
It's funny. I used to. I was talking earlier about in my house, we'd lie to get out of things with our parents. Yeah. But ever since I said that, I mean, I remember that. But I have so many memories of not getting away with a lie because you can sometimes you can fool your parents a lot easier than any other adult because they just look at you and hopefully see love or you get used to their rhythms. I can remember so many times as a kid just saying something, and your friends' parents, you just even a little exaggeration, they'll just bust you for it. Yeah. You're like, come on, man.
100%.
I was walking. I was at the pool, summer, the big pool. There was a birthday party for some kid. His parents were setting it up. There was like a patio off the little, not a clubhouse, just a building there. They had a patio area that you could reserve for private parties. And so there was a birthday party going on. Okay. And me and a buddy walked up the steps to that patio. And the adults were all setting up a table, and they had a couple of pizzas there. And then they went downstairs to go get some more Cokes. And my friend and I are like, hey, let's just grab a slice of pizza while we're here. And so we did.
Sure.
And we're walking down the stairs, and I remember this woman, the mom, walking up the stairs, and as she sees me, she goes, you ate some pizza? Like, out of the blue. And I'm like, no. I'm like, she was downstairs. How does she know? I had pizza sauce all over my mouth. And I was,
like, no.
And I remember I looked at her, I was like, lady, I didn't have any pizza. I was looking for my friend. And I gave an Oscar-worthy performance, and she didn't buy into it. And it was probably 3 minutes before I realized, I have red sauce on my face. There's no getting out of this one.
Now I really want a thin crust pepperoni.
Well, you know what? It's tough. I shouldn't talk about food in the morning here.
I know, it's tough.
Ryder, you just had a call. Somebody said that a couple that worked.
I actually got a couple of phone calls from people who worked at restaurants in Florida and said they regularly had to take lie detector tests for work. And the question that this one woman said...
Restaurant work.
Restaurants?
Yeah, and the question that this one woman said always busted everybody. They either lied about it or they had to cop to it was, have you ever given away a free drink?
What kind of restaurant is putting their employees on a polygraph?
Like Siberia?
Or I feel like it was probably back in the 80s or 90s, and things were
restaurateurs
getting real
in Russia?
Wild at spring break.
So, if it was in Miami, I would expect a little bit different line of questioning. Have you ever accepted a kilo of Coke for a drink or something? Very, very heady times down there.
Wow.
I'm trying to think too of. I don't know anybody. Nothing comes to mind. No one that I know has ever taken a lie detector test. No. I'm actually kind of surprised that so many people are texting in with their stories.
It's crazy. I don't have any experience with any of this other than what I've seen in movies, pretty much.
I think it's time we bring one in here. We're going to have to do the KQ polygraph testing.
Let's do that.
All right. Yeah. Well, we are going to start lying about some stuff so we have things that can put us to the test.
Man. Have you ever? I don't even want to come. You know what? I'm starting to get uncomfortable. It's for a guy who thinks I could probably get away with a lot. I really can't. I've grown out of the poker face years, and I'm not upset about that at all.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
A woman named Tammy Madison, who lives in Isanti, says she usually sees a bear or two show up near her house. Okay. It's a rural area where she is.
Sure.
But lately, several times, not once, but more than once, she has noticed on her cameras, security cameras, 5 black bears.
Oh. What?
Not just in her yard, in her driveway, at her door. They're just checking out all the area at Tammy's house, right at the front door, on her back deck. That's right, 5 black bears, a whole family just chilling, hanging out,
getting their steps in.
Grizzlies starting 5.
Man, I tell you what, I've seen a bear from 20 feet away in a car, driving, and it was a black bear,
Okay.
a little guy, and I felt like in a pinch I could take him. I know I can't, but I thought. But I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, look at the size of him. It was just like it's like an Irish wolfhound size, but thicker.
Right.
So it wasn't like really off-putting. I have friends who have come across grizzlies out west, and that's a whole different kettle of fish, if you will. It's a whole different bear. Bears are so freaky to me. So, but I've always had this thing in my head that's like, well, black bears are fine. There's no big deal. It's not the same.
Right.
And it's like, well, but then I see 5 of them on someone's front porch, and it truly. It just kind of freaks me out. It turns my stomach, and I just think I would not be cool with this on any level.
Right.
I think I'd be looking at moving. I mean, I would be panicked if I saw what they're seeing on their cam.
I've always said I think I could. Okay, here's going to be a couple minutes of really stupid stuff out of my mouth.
Excellent.
You bring a Bengal tiger in here, I think I could get through to him. I think I could meet his eyes and find some level of, hey, come on, man, we're friends.
Siegfried and Roy style? Because that ended poorly for one of them.
I know it did. Well, that was all the drugs they were dosing those cats, and then he just had enough. He just wanted to live.
They were macro dosing mushrooms, I think.
I always say, give me the mammal over the reptile. At the end of the day, like I'll take a tiger over a crocodile. You can't talk reason with a cold-blooded animal. In my mind, like a gorilla. I think I could. There's common ground. But my point is this: except for bears. Bears to me are like the drunk clown at the circus. You just have no idea what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. They forget what they forget what they came in to do. Bears to me are just a complete kaleidoscope of emotion and fury.
It's really nice to hear reason enter your brain again.
Yeah, man. It's just it freaks me out.
You are not allowed to be in a room unsupervised, okay? Because especially if there are tigers nearby, you are not allowed, okay?
I'm not saying it's something I want. I'm just saying if given the choice, it all stemmed from would you rather deal with a Bengal tiger or a king cobra? And it's like, give me the tiger all day long.
So
I can see that logic.
So you'd rather the tiger than the bear?
I'd rather the tiger than the bear, sure. And tigers are monsters. They'd kill me just as easily. But there's something about bears where I just don't trust them at all.
The bear's just there to eat your garbage.
Well, that's very true.
Like, if you've got something for them to eat, I'm pretty sure you can get left alone.
Just a big giant raccoon, basically.
Either of you guys ever had a bear experience? Now, I said I saw a bear from 10, 20 feet away, but I've heard a bear from right outside the tent I was sleeping in, and I was paralyzed with fear, so I didn't unzip it.
Oh, God, I can't
But I have been
that.
I was in Yosemite in a tent with one other guy, and all around was the sniffing, pawing, a bear in our campsite just for minutes, not seconds.
Wow.
Several minutes, me laying there going, and it was right, and if I had to unzip that little 1/12 of an inch of nylon tent, we would have been face to face. That was absolutely terrifying.
I've mentioned in the past that my dad grew up in Roseau, Minnesota, which is by Lake of the Woods.
Yeah.
The family's got a row of cabins on the breezy point of Lake of the Woods, and there's a path that we would take 4-wheelers, or at that time 3-wheelers on. This is when I was a kid.
Okay.
And the path was only wide enough for the 3-wheeler. And it goes for, I don't know, if just argument's sake, half mile, maybe a mile.
Got it.
And ahead of us, a few, maybe 100 feet, maybe a football field.
Yeah.
Less than a football field.
Okay.
The butt of a bear, we see it cross the path, and then it sticks its head back out.
Yeah.
And we obviously stop the 3-wheeler immediately, a safe distance ahead. But our only option, if something hits the fan, Our only option is to put the three-wheeler in reverse, which is not the best scenario.
It's not perfect.
Luckily, I'm happy to report the bear just kept on its merry old way as we stabbed there, just frozen. But yeah, that was enough to terrify me. So
Sure.
I'm with you on being afraid of the bears, but yeah, I still don't know if I want to be in the room.
651-989 Rock. Got a good bear story? Terry just posted, thought I would share. This is cute. This is Morgan Park neighborhood in Duluth, taken yesterday. And it's a video she just shared with us of a baby bear just walking in between houses. She says, Mama is right by. No kids playing, no walking dogs for now.
Okay,
but it's just one single baby bear, which I'll tell you right now, I'd have a hard time not going and picking that thing up and go, come here, you little sweet baby. Because that's what they say to do, right? If a cub is separated from its mother, you go show a protection. You show the mama, I got his back. You're fine. Continue to forage for berries.
The same team.
Right. 651-989 Rock is the talking text line. John is on the horn. John, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you got for us, brother?
It was 1982. I was fresh out of high school guiding elk hunters in Montana. Crawled into what I thought was a coyote den to get one with my .22 pistol because coyotes were worth about $120.
Okay.
Got about waist deep in there, and the hole opened up quite a bit, and my eyes adjusted, and I can see some eyes right in front of me. I could feel its breath on my face. And instead of pointy ears like coyotes, it was round ears like a bear. And then my eyes adjusted, and there was a bear probably about a foot in front of my face.
Oh.
Something tells me a .22 ain't gonna do much against a big ass bear like that.
And the next thing we got was the smell of the poop in his pants.
No, he just sat there blinking at me like, what the hell are you doing in here? And I just backed out. And once I got out, I ran like you'd never seen before.
Oh, my God. And how big was that sucker's head? Did you get a good,
we ended up coming back with the other guide with the hunter who had a bear tag, and we were looking for it. And the other guide seen it outside the den, and he said it was probably about a 350-pound chocolate bear.
Oh, yeah.
Bear.
Woo. All right, man. You got that good bear vibe. He was like, yeah, this guy's cool. He's fine. John, thanks for the call.
Glad
That's
you're
great.
still with us, buddy.
Man.
Thank you.
You got it.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
well,
man.
That's mind-boggling.
That is mind-boggling. Make no mistake about it.
Here it is.
I got a buddy who was also in Yosemite. I told you I heard a bear in Yosemite, but a friend of mine goes out there every year. Every year he goes out for a few days by himself. You know, it's just a thing he's done for years. He hikes way into the state park, and he puts his tent, and he chills out right there for 3 or 4 nights, all alone, and very, very rural. He's been doing this for 25, 30 years. And probably 10 years ago, he woke up to the sound of a bear right outside of his little one-man tent, and he'd heard it. Not for the first time. And he's like, okay, here he is. And he sits up in his tent, and he's just listening and listening and listening. And then suddenly the bear decided, I wonder if I can tear through this tent with my claw, and did so and caught my buddy Chris's face. Oh. And now he has the badass G.I. Joe scar all up one cheek where the bear came through his tent and got his face. Tons of blood, but not a devastating injury as it turned out. But he was like telling the story of, yeah, that's a moment where I'm like, I'm 4 miles from my car.
Holy Hannah.
And my face is bleeding. But the bear was so freaked out that it ran away. You know, it like, wow, one swipe of the claw, got through, got some face, and then took off running.
Do you think the bear went, oh, I didn't mean to do that?
That's exactly how I pictured it. Like,
sorry.
I'm
sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to do that.
That's a tough one right there.
No picnic baskets here.
No, not at all.
It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
The Foo Fighters rider for their gig in Indonesia. They have to be allowed. They had to go to the promoter and say, no, we're not coming unless we can drink, smoke, and cuss on stage. Cussing on stage. I've never heard that put into a gig rider before, but I get it. You know, they got some strict laws down there. Next thing you know, they're going to go to Singapore and say, I want to spit on the sidewalk.
Yes, I want to litter.
Yeah, it's not going to be, that one's not going to happen. Trust me. But a lot of bands over the years very famously have bizarre things or copious amounts of things on their riders. I think the most famous one, well, there's a couple that come to mind. My favorite one I'm going to say is Motorhead's.
Oh, yes.
The Motorhead, come on. The Motorhead rider, I can't even go down the whole list. I can't even pretend to. But I'll just start with 2 extra large bottles Jack Daniels, 1 extra large bottle Jim Beam, 1 extra large bottle Quality Vodka, 5 cases, 120 cans and or bottles of non-light beer.
Non-light beer. Bring the liquor store with them. Like, that would have saved people a lot of time.
24 cans of strong dry apple cider.
Oh.
And then it goes down with snacks and other non-alcoholic drinks and food, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And the alcohol requirements, they're like, if any of this is not met, we're walking. This has to be there every single night.
Yes, because if they didn't meet the alcohol requirements, it meant they weren't paying to any of the other specs, right?
That could be it. Yeah. I mean, I think they just needed a drink.
They could have just called their rider rock and roll, because that's what it sounds like to me. All that booze.
But at some point when you're touring, you recognize, or somebody points out to you, like, all that stuff on the rider that you're paying for that, right?
You're getting billed.
And the bands are like, oh, we are? Crap. I thought that was the promoter. Yeah, the promoter's writing the check, but then it's coming out of your settlement at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I remember that conversation.
Oh, that sucks.
I remember that conversation. Somewhere in the mid-'90s, we're trying to cut back. Third record stiffed. Wait a minute, we have to pay for all this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun fun conversations.
Steve, what was a weird thing the Black Crowes put on a rider?
Well, we did we had in 1992 when the second album came out, we put an ounce of marijuana on the rider.
An ounce?
An ounce, a full ounce. And again, that was, to your point, see, our manager Pete Angelis came from the Van Halen world. They very famously would not allow, they wanted M&Ms in their dressing room. It's a very famous thing for Van Halen. They needed a bowls of M&Ms with no brown M&Ms. They said, you have to remove all the brown M&Ms. And it said, if we find a single brown M&M, we can destroy the dressing room at promoter cost. And they would do that if they found a brown M&M. But the whole point, the thinking behind that was it was more than just we want an excuse to destroy a dressing room. It was if you aren't paying attention to the fine print on the rider, you're probably not paying attention to the fine print on all the real production specs for lights and sound and blah 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 blah. It was like a way to make sure somebody was on the ball.
It wasn't just about David Lee Roth putting his hole through a piece of sheetrock.
No, and David Lee Roth loves to take credit for that. The credit goes to Pete Angelis. That was his idea. He later is managing my band, and he said, let's just we were talking about that, and somebody said we should ask for an ounce of weed, and he goes, well, it is a good, why not? Because they probably in 1992 an ounce of weed was not easy to come by in most places,
right?
But we put it in there, and the question was just, do they even respond? So we knew right away if the promoter rep would come in and go, guys, I don't have the weed, and you could tell he's sweating it. We were like, okay, you are paying attention, that's good.
Yeah.
But then there were a handful of promoter reps who did walk in with an ounce of weed, and we were always like, wow,
that's like a bonus, basically.
Very well done.
We're just checking to see if you're paying attention, but if you do come up with a weed, then it's just it's cherry on the frosting.
You know what we had that was unexpected for a lot of people? We had tube socks.
Really?
Just fresh socks. Just the things you get on the road when you're on the road for months and on end.
I can imagine.
Good idea to load up on extra socks. You never know when you're going to need them.
See, I feel like today designing a rider would be super practical.
Oh, of course.
It's like, what can I, healthy eats, healthy drinks to get me through the day with energy, etc.
Yep.
Whereas 20-something me would have been like loose, fast women and Jägermeister.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, the women's a bit of a tall order. I mean, that's called trafficking. But the Jägermeister, we had a lot of liquor. We had cases of Red Stripe and or Stella and Heineken and
imported stuff, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Very
big
fancy.
Years of Red Stripe. I did a whole tour where I was just drinking Foster's oil cans, those giant cans.
Oh, man.
It's just easier. But I had like 6 or 8 of those on the rider, and they were only for me.
Oh.
Like, don't touch the oil cans. Because it was just easier.
Why were they easier?
Well, on stage, it's like have a Jack and Coke in the afternoon, and, get your little pick me up, and then you got to slide into beer for the gig, and then it was just like I didn't want to have to keep up with 6 or 8 beers. It's just 2 or 3,
right?
Because they're giant, and they just fit in my hand well during the show. I don't know. Who knows, man? The 90s were a very, very bizarre time for a lot of us, me especially. What can I say?
Riders can get absurd.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But do you get to a point where you're the Beatles or you're Bob Dylan or whoever, where you just kind of like you've earned the right to just get away with whatever, even if it's ridiculous?
Oh, of course. Yeah. There's nothing. No, if you're on a level like that, whatever I mean, my God,
you're only rolling your eyes at the bands that aren't there. That are asking for ridiculousness, right?
But you know what? To your point now, like the last.
If you're Beatles or Bob Dylan level writer, or like, is it somebody else guessing maybe what you want?
Yeah, you're walking in ahead of the show. Paul McCartney played a gig in Memphis a few years back, and a really close friend of mine is a promoter for Live Nation. And she said that the rider she showed it to me. She was incredible. There was a specific candle that had to be lit 6 hours before he arrived in every room he might enter.
Ooh.
And there was a certain type of flooring they had to put down. So when his car pulled into the arena, he had to walk across this, like they had to go to like some flooring place and find a roller type of pad thing. And everywhere he went, it was the same floor. Huh. And of course, he had no idea. He was somewhere once, and he was like, this candle smells nice. And his tour manager's like, get those candles everywhere Paul goes. And then he's like, I like the way this floor feels on my feet. And they're like, get that floor everywhere Paul goes. He doesn't care.
Unreal.
He has no idea, but there's always a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Job security.
Very much so.
Gorman in the Morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the Morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.